يلا let's start. I'm so excited to do with you formulas. لأنه في many students they are having a problem with the so we are going to do today, as I told you in the video, we are going to do formulas. I'm going to show you how to balance لأنه the majority of the students they are struggling with balance. But today inshallah we will do formulas or balance. I'm going to show you different types of equations, how we do it, and then at the end I'm going to do energetics اللي هو exothermic و endothermic, which is a very easy topic. But the main part or the main important part that I'm sure all of you are struggling with هي الformulas and mainly الformulas will balance. Okay? Right. First of all, how many types of equations we are going to talk about today? And we have mainly 3 types of equations. So you can understand the idea. We have word equation, we have normal symbolic equation, اللي هي the equation that we balance, and we have the third one is ionic equation. So any type of equation that we are going to write, we need to know before we write the formula, we need to know how do I, we write the whole equation, we need to know how to write a formula. لأن if I don't know how to write sodium chloride, sodium carbonate, potassium iodide, whatever the compound is, if I don't know the compound, for sure you're going to do the whole equation in the wrong way, and again the balance, you're going to miss the mark of the balance. لأنه usually in the exam, whatever Cambridge or Edexcel, all the time any question that is asking you write the equation of whatever blah 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 blah, you need to write. It's a 1 mark for the balance and 1 mark to write all the formulas in a correct way. Yalla, let's do it. So as I said, for any equation that he's going to ask you in the exam, 1 mark to write the whole equation, to write all the formulas in a correct way, with the other mark to write the balance in a correct way. طيب, if the whole equation was 1 mark, يبقى this means the formulas should be correct with the balance should be correct. So if you write, مثلا, let's say 3 of the formulas correct, 1 of them was wrong, this means you missed the mark. This means you'll take 0. But that's why chemical formulas are very important for grade 9 or for grade 10 or for AS or for everything, even for the college. If you don't know how to write chemical formulas, this means you are having a problem with all the topics of the chemistry, not only this topic. Okay, so that's why it's really important. That's why I made it as a free class, so no one will struggle again with these formulas. طيب, let's start. First of all, I will start الأول by the easy ones, and then I'm going to show you the trickier ones. Okay? طيب, first of all, if this is my periodic table. Okay? I will show you كده a part of the periodic table. Okay? What I will ask you, طبعا this is not the whole one, but only parts. If I'm going to ask you, مثلا, let's say I want to write sodium chloride, I want to write magnesium iodide, I want to write sodium carbonate, whatever the compound is. First of all, you need to know, the first letter of any element must be a capital letter. Yani let's say I'm going to write magnesium. يبقى this means magnesium is like this. So you need to write it like this. Please, بلاش McDonald's دي. يعني please don't write McDonald's M. M capital, G is a small letter, and so on. Okay? Since it's the same element, the first letter is capital, the second one is a small letter or lowercase. Perfect. All the compounds, you need to start by the metal, and then you're going to find the non-metal. Okay? So we start by the metal and then the non-metal. Right? Let's say I want to write magnesium chloride. So I'm going to write Mg and then I'm going to write Cl. But where is Mg in the periodic table? If I'm going to go and check, I'm going to find magnesium is in group 2. يبقى what's the number I should put? I should put 2. Why I should put 2? لأنه for metals, you put same like the group number. يبقى for any metal to write the formula, you should put the same like the group number. طيب, what about for non-metals? What should you do? Chloride is in group 7. So what should I do? I'm going to, for non-metals, you're going to make 8 minus the group number. يعني you will subtract. يبقى for metals, you put for any metal like these, any metal, you put same like the group number. Okay? Like if I'm talking about a non-metal, what should I do? I'm going to do 8 minus the group number. This is very important. Okay? طيب, perfect. طب I'm having chlorine. So what should I do, يا لوجي? Chlorine is in group 7. So what should I do? I'm going to do 8 minus 7. So it's 1. And then the last step, you are going to swap. So what will happen, ya Mu'taz? The magnesium is going to take the 1. وأنا I don't write the 1. No need to write the 1. So this means, ya Mariam, in magnesium will take the 1, while chlorine is going to take the 2. So this is MgCl2. Voila. This is the formula, and that's it. So in a very easy way, you put the metal, you put the non-metal, okay? And then you put for metals, you put same like the group number. For non-metals, you put 8 minus the group number, and then you are going to swap. Once you're going to swap, you're done with the compound. Right, let's take another one. طبعا it needs practice. So that's why if you want me to send you a sheet, I have a sheet that is having 100 compounds of formulas. I will show it to you now. It's having almost all the compounds. Maybe it's a good practice for you if you're having a problem with the formulas. I can send it to you in groups if you need. Or if you want me to send it to you, just text me or I can send it to you. I'll show it to you now. Type, I want aluminium oxide, aluminium and oxygen. So if I'm talking about aluminium, where is aluminium? Aluminium is in group 3, so I will write 3. But where is oxygen? Oxygen is here, so oxygen is a non-metal. So what should I do? Since it's a non-metal, I'm going to do 8 minus 6. So what's the number I should put? 2. And then you are going to do what? And you are going to swap. So it's going to be Al2O3. This is how you should write it, Al2O3. What I told you before, last class, if you remember, I told you, where are the metals, where are the non-metals? I don't know, do you remember or not? Check it out. We said in all this area are metals. All this area are metals. But what about these? See here, this area only. اللي هما ladder ده, this ladder, the area دي. These are non-metals. Yes, Hamza. Yes.
Miss, I have a question. Oxygen is -2. So isn't it supposed to be aluminium -2, oxygen 3?
Why oxygen supposed to be? Hamza, the metal you put here, مش aluminium is in group 3. It's a metal, am I right? Since it's a metal, you put same like the group number. Aluminium is in which group? Is in group 3. So I'm going to write 3. طب oxygen is a non-metal. And we said in all this area is what? All this area, okay, is they are non-metals. So since they are non-metals, I'm not going to put the same like the group number. I'm going to do 8 minus the group number. That's why I'm going to put 2. They know it's in group 6. I'm going to put 2. Then you swap. So the aluminium is going to take the 2, while oxygen will take the 3. طيب, let's continue. I want to write. Okay, Hamza, it's fine? Okay. طيب, next بقى. I want to write مثلا, let's say, potassium oxide مثلا. Potassium, and then the oxygen is here. Type, and potassium is in group 1. So since it's a metal, I'm going to put 1. Double oxygen is in group A. Oxygen is in group 6. But this means it's a non-metal. I'm going to do 8 minus 6, yani 2. And then you swap, so it's going to be K2O. Okay? Perfect. These are for the simple ones. But what about if I'm going to have a compound like magnesium oxide? What should I do if I'm having something like magnesium oxide? This is magnesium, this is oxygen. So for magnesium is in which group magnesium? Magnesium is in group 2. Here is it. So what should you do? Since magnesium is in group 2, so I'm going to put 2. Type. What about oxygen? Oxygen is in group 6. Since oxygen is in group 6, I'm going to do 8 minus 6. So what's the number you should put? 8 minus 6, I'm going to write 2. Type. Normally, when you find the amount as 2 and 2, what will happen, ya Mahmoud? All the students, usually they write Mg2O2. This is wrong. When both numbers, ya Ghayud, is the same, when both numbers are the same, you need to cancel. They need to cancel each other's. Yani when I have the numbers can be simplified, you need to simplify them. So when both numbers can be simplified like 2 and 2, 4 and 2, when any numbers can be simplified, you should simplify them. So it's going to be what? MgO. Okay, so this is the formula for the compound, MgO. Okay? طيب what about if I'm going to write, I think all these are easy يعني these are the easy ones. طب what about the transition metals يعني if I'm having element like these like zinc like lead any of these elements, if I'm having any of these like these الاريا اللي هي in the middle دي, what should I do if I'm having these elements? These elements they don't have group numbers. يعني if you check group 1 group 2 group 3 4 5 6 7 and so on. لكن elements in the middle of the periodic table اللي هم these, if you check for these the elements here اللي هم in the middle دول they don't have a group number. طب if they don't have a group number, so how should I يعني what's the number I should put? I need to study these numbers بقى يا فروح. I need to study these numbers يعني I need to know إنه all the time let's say nickel is 2, all the time silver is 2, silver is 1, lead is 2, and so on. So some elements you need to revise and you need to memorize, you need to study. Like which elements? As an example, يعني مثلا let's say we don't need to study them all, but at least the common ones. يعني at least the common ones. Like what? يعني I'm having مثلا let's say nickel. Nickel is always 2. But what about iron? Iron. Sometimes, let's write it in another page better. Oh. I'm going to write iron. Iron sometimes 2, sometimes 3. Copper sometimes 1, sometimes 2. I will show you how you will know. Nickel is always 2. Lead. PB is lead. لأنه في some students they don't know that PB is lead. This is 2. Lead is 2. What else? Nickel, lead, silver. Silver is 1. Yeah, silver is 1. So iron, copper, nickel, zinc is always 2. Type. So the majority of the transition metals, the majority, not all, the majority, their valency is 2. Okay? What do I mean by the word valency? Valency, it means how many electrons they should lose or they should gain. اللي هو the numbers that we put and then we swap. This is called valency. So if I'm going to check for these elements, يا لمار, يعني nickel is always 2, lead is always 2, zinc is always 2, iron sometimes 2 and 3, copper sometimes 1 and 2, silver is always 1. طيب, how do I know? يعني in the exam, how should I know if how should I know إنه copper is 1 ولا 2? How do I know إنه iron is 2 or 3? How should I know this? In a very easy way, I'm going to tell you in the exam, let's say, Hamza, copper, and then Omar, I will write like this. When I write this, copper, and then 2 dashes sulfate, this means in this case, the copper was what? This means the copper was 2, not only 1. See, Ali, in our syllabus, we're not supposed to know why, but here in these elements you should only memorize it. But the point is sometimes the oxidation state of the iron, sometimes it loses 2, sometimes it's 3. In some compounds it's 2, in some compounds it's 3. But this is not the main thing. يعني the majority of the transition metals, they are having one number. Some of them only. يعني طبعا هم the most common ones iron and copper. إنه iron sometimes 2, sometimes 3, وإنه copper sometimes 1 or sometimes 2. Oh, by the way, if he didn't tell you, يعني sometimes he will not tell you what is the valency. If he didn't tell you, if he didn't mention this, so what should I do? But in this case, you just write copper, and you just write to use copper with 2. If he didn't tell you, write it's 2. Same for iron. If he didn't mention, so it's 2. لأن 2 is the most common one. Okay? طيب, if I want copper 1, you will write like this, copper, and then 1 كده dash أو باللاتين كده. This means it's 1. طب, is he going to give you this for all the transition metals? No. He will put it inside a bracket in which case? In case in the transition metal that is having more than one number or more than one valency. That's why you will put it in a bracket. But if not, they will not put it. Okay? طيب, يعني مثلا let's say zinc oxide. We want to write zinc oxide. So how should I do it? This is the zinc. This is the oxygen. Zinc, as we said, is always 2. طيب, what about oxygen? Oxygen is in group 6. So what should I do? I need to do 8 minus 6. يعني this means it's a non-metal. So you will do 8 minus 6. So the number is going to be 2. And then you are going to, since both numbers can be simplified, so it's going to be 1 and 1. That's why we write zinc oxide like this. Okay? This means it is going to be drawn like this. It's easy. طيب, the last part that we are going again to find out to check how to write the formulas is some elements like, not elements, but some
استطلاعات ده امتحان.
Nihad, can you please? Thank you. Some of the elements, some of the compounds, they are going to be called polyatomic. What do I mean by the word polyatomic? Polyatomic, it means in Homa they have, it's not only formed from one element. No, it's formed from more than one element. I'm going to show you this now. بصوا check كده. This is the one I'm talking about. These are the ones we need to know. Okay, what are these? These are called polyatomic ions. We need to study these. We need to know, we need to memorize this for all the syllabus, especially بقى the students who finished acid and bases. All the time the students, they don't know how to write the equations of acids and bases because they have a problem with these formulas. All the students. I'm not saying only مثلا few, لا, the majority. They are having problems with acid and bases specifically because of this. Especially كده الformulas they are struggling with. So when I write مثلا, let's say sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, sodium sulfate, sodium nitrate. So how should I do this? How should I write these formulas? This is the question. All the time when I say nitrate, by the way, أصلا the word 8, when I write at the end of any word يا ملوكة, when I write the word 8 for any compound, it means it contains oxygen. when I say يا مارو مثلا nitrate يبقى nitrogen with oxygen. When I say sulfate يبقى sulfur with oxygen. When I say carbonate يبقى carbon with oxygen. Phosphate يبقى phosphorus with oxygen, and so on. All the time I need to write something. When I write 8, when it ends with 8, this means I need to write the whole compound. طيب, let's check how we will do it. If I want to write nitrate, you need to know this. If you don't know it, you need to memorize these. Nitrate, the formula of nitrate is NO3. طب what's the valency? 1. Because it's written here in the charge -1, this is the valency. This is the number that we put down before you swap. Well, I will show you now how. طب sulfate is SO4. طب what's the valency? 2. طب carbonate, CO3. طب what's the valency يا كريم? 2. طيب اهو carbonate CO3. طيب ammonium is always 1. Take care, ammonium is a positive 1. بس احنا now we're not going to use positive or negative بس for you to know انه ammonium is the only one which is positive. طب hydroxide, it's OH. طب what's the valency يا فروح? 1. وstill one more. احنا كده قلنا hydroxide ونيتريت وسلفيت وكربونات وامونيوم. We still have one more. What's this compound? Phosphate. We also have phosphate. It's not that common, but it's there also in the exam. وفي hydrogen carbonate. We are having a lot. Do we have to learn this? Oh, yeah, Mohamed. Unfortunately, yes. We need to memorize this. I'm sorry. The majority of the chemistry you need to understand it. The majority of the syllabus you need to understand it. But this part specifically, you need to memorize it. If you didn't memorize it, it's going. So all the time I'm doing the mobile silent. But I didn't do it silent because I was afraid that anyone is searching for the link. No problem, it's fine. So we need to memorize this يا محمد لأنه all the time when I write for you any formula that we need a formula مثلا of sodium carbonate, potassium iodide, if you don't know how to write it, you're going to lose a lot of marks. You got my point? Okay. طيب. Let's say بقى I'm going to do, okay. Let's say مثلا I'm going to do a formula of sodium مثلا let's say sodium carbonate. So this is sodium. What is the carbonate? Carbonate is CO3. So I will write carbonate اللي هو CO3. طب what's the valency for sodium? Sodium is in group 2. So I will write 1. Sorry, sodium is in group 1. So since sodium is in group 1, I will write 1. طب what about the carbonate? What's the valency for carbonate? Carbonate is 2. But since the valency of carbonate is 2, يبقى I should write A 2. And then what should I do? I'm going to swap. يبقى Na will take the 2. With CO3 is going to take the 1. Is it clear? Okay, so this is how we do it. طيب.
No.
Okay. You just write the formula and then you swap and that's it. طيب, let's take something different. Calcium sulfate. Calcium is Ca. طب what's the sulfate? Sulfate is SO4. هي sulfate automatic already كده alone. It's called SO4. طب what's the valency for sulfate? As we said, the valency of sulfate is 2. اللي هي الcharge. So I'm going to write 2. طب where is the calcium in the periodic table? The calcium is in group 2 again. So I need to write 2. Then what should I do? If I write here 2 and here 2, you need to simplify them. Since it's 2 and 2, 1 and 1, 3 and 3, you need to simplify. So it's going to be 1 and 1. That's why we write it like this, CaSO4. So if you come in the exam and you write it Ca2SO4, you lost. So that's why this is very important to know how to do it. Type something else. طبعا already I know the majority they know this, but I'm just revising with you. Type in the exam, sometimes بقى he will give you a tricky one. Like what? Like magnesium hydroxide as an example. طب if I'm having magnesium hydroxide, magnesium is in group 2. Okay? He wrote here in the hydroxide is EMRO is 1. فwhen I swap يا فروحة, it's going to be A. Mg is going to take the 1. OH is going to take the 2. So how should I write it? MgOH2. Oh, it's a problem now. Why it's a problem? لأنه 2, this is wrong. يعني if you write it like this in the exam, it's going to be counted wrong. Why it's going to be counted wrong? لأنه this 2 is for both. Is not only for these are 2 different elements. يعني this is oxygen and this is hydrogen. These are 2 different compounds. So it's not only one. But when I write MgOH2, you need to do what? You need to do Ianuri. You need to do a bracket. Okay, Lamor, you need to put a bracket. So you show in both OH, both the oxygen and the hydrogen will take the 2. So this is very important. Okay? Same for aluminium hydroxide. I want to write aluminium hydroxide. So what should I do? Oh, aluminium and then here hydroxide. Aluminium is in group 3, hydroxide is in group 1. So when you swap aluminium and then L3 is for both. I'm going to put a bracket and then put the 3. Okay? طيب. Another one more different idea. In the exam, if he's going to ask you, let's say مثلا we want calcium phosphate. I'm going to write calcium I'm going to write phosphate. طب where is the calcium في periodic table? Calcium is الفالنسي بتاعته 2 لأنه calcium is in group 2. طب what about the phosphate? We said إن الفوسفات is PO4 والفالنسي 3. So I will write 3. And then you swap. So the calcium will take the 3. all the PO4 how it will take the 2 بقى يا كريم يبقى you need to put it inside the bracket so it's going to be CA3 or PO4 too. Okay, but this is very important. I said if you didn't know how to do this, you will lose a lot of marks if you don't know how to write the formulas. فأنا بقى if I want to write any equation في الchemistry, before I write anything, يعني before I write مثلا sodium plus water will give you sodium hydroxide and hydrogen. Before you write sodium hydroxide, you need to come aside, we write sodium hydroxide, then put it in the equation. You got my point? يعني you need to do this aside الأول, then put it in the equation. Don't write it كده haphazard for anything كده NaOH ولا COH2. لا, يعني you need to put it كده to make it first, then put it in the equation. Yes, يا حمزة. I said, if anyone need a question, just write it. We need to finish a big amount. If I'm going to stop all the time for questions, we will not finish. This is not like the normal class, يا حمزة. Normal classes, we stop and we explain and I give you questions to answer. But the revision classes, we will finish 2 topics every class. This means it's going to be a little bit. You can ask now, but please get notebook. Same like what we did Monday. We write the question and then at the end, I'm going to reply to all your questions. Okay? Yalla, what was your question since we stopped already?
Miss, these numbers for 3 and 2, when we write CA3, is it okay if we write it up, or
No,
does it
no,
always
no,
have
no,
to?
no, 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 no. This is a fatal mistake. The number is supposed to be down. No, don't write it up. Okay, type something else. Sometimes they ask you, sometimes he will ask you, let's say H2SO4. Sometimes, خلاص, now you know how to write the formula, so it's easy. But sometimes he will ask you, how many atoms are there? Or how many elements are there? If he asks you about this, ya Lamor, how many atoms are there? How many elements are there for any compound? You should know how to count this. Type, how many elements do I have in any compound, ya Farroh? I'm going to count how many different types. Yani if you check here, I have hydrogen, and then I'm having sulfur, and then I'm having oxygen. So this means how many types, Muhammad? I have 3 different types. So element, it means how many different.
Yes.
Okay. طيب, what about يا إيدو بقى؟ يا إياد, what about the atoms? If I need to count how many atoms, يا إيدو, what should I do? I
We'll
need
count the different amount of atoms of each one of them.
Perfect, that's true. I'm going to take the total amount. يعني here, how many hydrogen do I have? I will write 2 hydrogen. طيب, how many sulfur? There is no number.
There is only 1 sulfur and there is 4 oxygen.
Correct. There is no number يا منيرة here before the sulfur, so I will write 1 sulfur. Here I have how many oxygen? 4 oxygens. So this means إنه 2 hydrogen, 1 sulfur, and 4 oxygens. يعني this means total 4 and 1, 5. يعني this means إنه total 7 atoms. So when I ask you how many atoms are there, you count the total number. When I ask you how many elements are there, you are going to count how many different types. Hi, man. Can you see إيمان يعني؟ مش عارفة. ليه عزة كده؟ Why man بس؟ مام, okay. See الام والان very big difference. بس take care يعني أنا why بس مش عارفة. وبعدين now you entered يعني you just joined the meeting to say hi man. It's fine, no problem. Oh, I don't know. بس it's fine يعني أصل كمان your name يعني my BFF, my best friend, her name seem like you. But that's why خلاص I cannot do anything. Say بقى man, say ma'am, it's fine. يلا, let's continue. طيب, now we know how to write the formulas. As I told you, if you know, Azza, if you want, يعني إن شاء الله, I'm going to put this record on the YouTube because you missed already how to do the formulas, which is a very important part. If you are on chemistry lovers, أكيد for sure all of you are on chemistry lovers. If you are on chemistry lovers, once إن شاء الله the link is going to be there, I will put it on the groups. Okay, لأنه بس اليوتيوب it takes a little bit time. Once it's there, I will upload it إن شاء الله. طيب, let's talk about balancing equation بقى. if I want to talk about balancing equation. أنا أصلا حضرتك معاكي حضور؟ معايا حضور؟ Really? But I don't have anyone called Azza in my classes. Oh, maybe this is not your name. Maybe this is your mother's name. It's fine, no problem. So I don't have anyone called Azza in the group. It's fine, it's fine. It's no problem. طيب, let's take how to balance بقى. By the way, even if you are taking with me physical, I want to tell you something. All the time, the students, they forget how to do formula. Sometimes we need to revise. You got my point? It's going to be a good revision for you, yeah. طيب, now we finished our first part for our topic today, for our journey today with the chemistry, and we're done with the formulas, okay? I think now it's easier for you. We are going to continue بقى talking about equations themselves. طيب, how many equations do we have? How many types of equation, as I told you? The first type of equations, which is the easiest, really the easiest, is the word equation. طب, what's the word equation and how do I do it بقى يا لمور? He will come and tell you, write the word equation for reaction of magnesium and oxygen, and that's it. So you'll just write magnesium plus oxygen is going to give you a Omar, magnesium oxide. So here, ya Mahmoud, no need to write symbols, no need to write balance. I will just do a Ghayud, I will just write the name of the element, magnesium plus oxygen, no symbols, no formulas, no balance, which is the easiest. Oh, but someone كده will come and tell me, إيه ده miss? هو في some questions في IGCSE يا مريم are easy without any tricks? Oh, there is. Do you know what's the trick? The trick في word equation, that it's easy. Can you imagine? يعني being an easy question, this is the trick. I swear, wallahi, this is the trick. All the time, ya Mu'taz, being an IG student, all the time you know there is a trick in the question, all the time. So when you see this question, like magnesium with oxygen give you magnesium oxide, مثلا, let's say, the student, when he read the question quickly, he will write Mg plus O2 will give MgO2, which is a fatal mistake. Why? لأنه he didn't mention the words. You got the point? The symbols. يعني all the time when me myself, if I read the question quickly, sometimes I forget to mention, and it's a word equation of I need to write it in words. Sometimes once you read the equation, magnesium plus oxygen, this is a very fatal mistake, or very common. Magnesium plus oxygen is going to give you MgO. And that's it, in a very easy way. And then طبعا we will balance. يعني here 2, here 1, so we'll put 1. طب, when do I write this? When do I write this? Don't write this except if you see this word. If you didn't see the word equation, don't write this. But take care, this is so tricky. Yes, ya Mu'taz, you're right. Okay? But here, when you write 2Mg plus O2 is going to give you 2MgO. This, if he asks you about what? For this one, is he ask you? حبيبي يا باسم, والله miss you so much. ده ايه اليوم الحلو ده. So magnesium plus oxygen is going to give you magnesium oxide. Now I wrote it in a formula of what? I wrote it in the formula of the whole equations, as I told you, and I balance it. طيب, يبقى if he asks for word, write it in words. He asks for symbolic equation, you need to write it in symbols. طيب, the third type of equation is called ionic equation. Ionic equation, we write it in ions بقى. This is what we are going to know next Wednesday. لأنه next Wednesday, inshallah, we are going to do electrolysis with redox, both. When we do electrolysis and redox, I will show you how to write the ionic equation. Well, ionic equation for many students, again, it's confusing. But today, because we are already having another topic, I'm not going to talk about ionic equation. But ionic equation is a very important one also. Okay? Didn't we say that we cancel each other and become MgO? No, ya Loli, take care. They cancel each other. That's true. Yani when I write MgO here 2, here 2. They cancel each other, so it's going to be MgO. Okay? لكن now I'm balancing. يعني all the time the magnesium oxide is named ايه يا غيود؟ all the time it's MgO. It will never 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 يا معتز be Mg2O ولا Mg2O2. It will never be like this. All over your life you are going to write the magnesium MgO. طب why did I put here the 2? This is what I'm going to show you now when we balance. I will explain بقى why did we put it. Why did we put it? لأنه I need to write, check كده with me. I'm going to write magnesium plus oxygen. It will give you magnesium oxide. We're supposed to know. ازاي مش عارفين يا ميس أي نعم وأنا مش قصدي نكتب مان. أنا كان قصدي مانيكيبل. It was you يعني who wrote man. لا خلاص يا بس. براحتك عادي, it's fine. طب let's continue. That's why your name is your name. Your mother's name. صح. Correct. طيب. أنا بقول لك يا عزة. It's fine عادي, no problem. I accidentally left. It's fine يا كريم, no problem. So again, this is magnesium وhere magnesium. طب how do I do balance بقى? When I write any equation, even if he didn't ask you for any equation, not يعني by symbols, not by words, you need automatic to balance it. طب how should I balance بقى? I always say to my students, if I want to do pizza, well, I'm going to put 5 pizzas in the oven, for sure when you open the oven, you're going to find them 5. You're not going to find them 10. We are not going to find them 2. Yani since you put 5, you will have 5. Same for the word equation. If you are going to put 1 magnesium for reactants, in the product it's going to be 1. You put 2 oxygen, so in the product it's going to be 2 oxygen, and so on. The number of atoms that enter is going to be the number of atoms that are going to come out. Okay? لا ما جوعتكش ولا حاجة. خلاص يا باسم. Next Friday على طول. Next Friday جيب لكم بيتزا. ولا ما فيش مقاطعة خلاص احنا وما عندناش. على حسابي والله. My birthday بقى هدلعكم. على فكرة I did this before في Friday group I bought pizza بس مش مقاطعة. خلاص بقى no more بقى بيتزا هات والكلام الدلع ده خلاص no more. So for once I'm going to check the number of atoms that enter the reaction is going to be the number of atoms that are going to come out of the reaction. يا كريم Saturday إن شاء الله. My birthday. So let's do it بقى. 1 magnesium here, 1 magnesium, and here how many magnesium? 1. يعني if 1 magnesium will enter the reaction, 1 magnesium is going to come out. So it's balanced. طيب, how many oxygen are here? If you check here, I have 2 oxygen atoms. فimpossible in 2 oxygen atoms will enter the reaction, but only 1 oxygen will come out. This is not logic. يبقى for sure يا نوري they were 2. But I cannot come and put here 2. This is wrong. يعني I cannot come and put below the oxygen here 2. This is wrong. لأن احنا we said in the magnesium oxide is always MgO. So what should I do? I'm going to put the 2 here. Well, I cannot put it here in the middle. Again, this is wrong. يبقى I need to put the 2 here. You got my point? I cannot put it here. يعني I cannot put it at this side or at this side. لا, you need to put it where? You need to put it here. This is the balance. يعني usually the balance it's written here, 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 and so on. So how many? So as you see here يا فروحة أنا هنا I have 2 Mg و 2 O. When the number, listen بقى to this trick. When I have, let's say MgO, that when the 2 is outside, it's going to join automatic. The Mg and the O. But when I'm having مثلا let's say H2O. This means when the 2 is for this, the 2 is for the hydrogen only and not for the oxygen. So please take care about this. Right. This means in the 2 is going to join what? The magnesium. I need to put here ايه يا حمزة? Again 2. لأنه impossible in the 2 magnesium will come out, and at the beginning it was only 1 magnesium. Impossible. Okay? So this is how to balance it. I will give you now more examples. اوكي طيب if he ask you write كمان بالمرة بقى state symbols. Sometimes he is going to ask you write state symbols it's a 1 mark question. يعني the equation is 1 mark will state symbol again is another mark. So how should I write state symbols or what are the state symbols? State symbols sometimes we write let's say magnesium is a solid. It's a metal it's a solid يبقى I will write S. Small s كده below the compound. طب oxygen is a gas so I will write G. طب oxides all oxides are solids so I will write S. You got my point? يبقى this is how we write state symbols. I will show you طبعا how we do it يعني. Okay? My solid magnesium oxide. Yes طبعا for sure magnesium oxide is solid يا نوري. Do you remember يا نوري in class? Do you remember in class when I burned? I don't know, did you see it or not? When I burned magnesium, do you remember? Yes. When I burned magnesium in the air, in the oxygen, what happened? If you remember that it was so nice. When I burned it, two observations were there. It's going to give you white powder, if you remember, and there was a white, bright light. Okay? That's why for sure it was a solid. Am I right? You are nice أصلا يا مس حبيبي يا باسم والله. ربنا يخليك يا رب. Thank you. Okay? So, for sure طبعا it's going to be a solid. طيب, when do I write for state symbols? When do I write S? When do I write L? When do I write G? When do I write AQ? This is very important. You write S when this substance is a solid, like it's a metal, so it's a solid. It's a salt that doesn't dissolve in water, so it's S. يعني if I have a salt that doesn't dissolve in water, we write S. But if I have a salt that dissolves in water, I write AQ. You will come and tell me, Miss, يعني how do I know salt soluble ولا insoluble? How should I know? I'm going to tell you when we take, inshallah, acid and bases. Once we start acid or bases, I'm going to show you the table for all the salts that are soluble. I'm going to teach you how to know if this salt is soluble or insoluble. So if it is soluble, you write AQ. يعني like this, مثلا, let's say sodium chloride. It's a salt that dissolves in water, so you write AQ. Okay? Oh. طيب, so AQ, this is for the salt soluble in water. لكن solid salts are insoluble in water. طب what else can I write AQ for? For all acids and for all alkali. يعني if you are having any acid like HCl as an example, you will write what aqueous. Okay, يبقى when I write HCl, you're going to write aqueous. طب when I write any acid is aqueous, alkali are also aqueous, you can write AQ. Miss, do you have notes for the syllabus? أكيد يا إيدو, I have notes for the syllabus for sure. But I don't know where are you. You can just text me. Like if you are here in Kuwait, I can tell you where you can get my notes. If you are outside Kuwait, you can tell me. I can tell you how you will get my notes. Why is magnesium oxide a solid but oxygen is a gas? عشان magnesium oxide is an ionic compound. MgO, metal or non-metal. If you remember, if you were with us last class, we said إنه ionic compounds are very hard. عندهم very strong attraction force. That's why you need too much energy to break it. It's a solid. لكن oxygen, O2, ده هنا both are non-metals. So it is a covalent compound. يعني the forces between the particles are really weak. A small amount of energy required to break the forces. That's why it's a gas. Logic? Yes, يا جوجو.
بس هو معلش ينفع حضرتك، هو انا مش فاهمه ليه ال HCl aqueous قصدي مع ان هو liquid.
No يا روحي, مش عايزه liquid دي خالص. No, this is fatal mistake. I'm sorry. Liquid, say it for water. When I write for you water, write liquid. لكن HCl, it's a substance that dissolve in water. All acids aqueous. يعني when we take إن شاء الله يا جوجو acids و alkali, all acids يعني HCl, H2SO4, HNO3. All acid, don't write, never to write a liquid. This is wrong. All acids are, it's a substance. Usually we say it's a substance that dissolves in water. Since it dissolves in water, you write AQ. Automatic. طب ما احنا NaCl, you know يا جوجو NaCl, this is the salt that we put on our food. Is it aqueous? طب ما it's a solid. Am I right? But we don't write solid.
صعب
We write
هو
aqueous.
dissolve.
Exactly. صح يا
تمام
جوجو؟
ميرسي، شكرا لحضرتك.
العفو يا روح قلبي. طيب, so this is for aqueous. طيب, when do I say G? I say G بقى when it's a gas, like carbon dioxide, like nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, and so on. طيب, I want to ask you about another trick برضه. Why did I write? I expect this question. When I write the formula, before I did the balance, I wrote oxygen O2. مثل عيوني يا بس. So, أحلى عزومة كمان. So, Mg plus O2. All the non-metals. بصوا بقى. Why did I write O2? Why did I write it like this? Although O2, okay, this is not a balance. Take care. This is not a balance. A balance is the number that I put here, أو here, أو here. Oh. Why did I write بقى O2? لأنه في some elements. Yes, يا باسم, tell me. Why?
Atomic.
Exactly. Non-metals, but not all of them. في some non-metals, they are diatomic. Okay? I know يا راني ان انت you know it طبعا. شطور يا باسم. So, I'm going to تسلم عينك حبيبي. بص بقى. يعني let's say I want to know which elements are diatomic. لأنه students دايما miss هو مين elements? When do I write to? Miss, I don't know diatomic. So you can remember it بقى. It's a secret. Don't tell anyone. You can remember it by this way. Bren. I know this is so weird for you. But like this, you will never forget it. What's this very weird word? This is not in our syllabus. يعني this word is not a word in the syllabus. But I was thinking about this word because all the students, they got confused. When do I write O2? When do I write O? Listen بقى. في some elements we need to write it. Yes يا عبد الرحمن.
بس صوتك كان بيعلق وانت بتقول لنا السيكريت ده فما سمعتش
Secret?
حاجه.
لا, we need to say it again. It's a secret, dear. لا يا عبد الرحمن, we need to say it again. Sorry. Spy, بس موضوع الإنترنت بس someone want to know the secret. But that's why I will say it again. What's the secret بقى? To know what are the diatomic elements. اللي هم مين؟ bromine, iodine, nitrogen, chlorine. Take care, this is chlorine, not carbon, huh? That's why I put it in another color. You know, sometimes the students will think it's carbon. No, this is wrong. Carbon is not diatomic. Although it's a non-metal, but it's not a diatomic. This is chlorine. And then this is hydrogen, and then this is oxygen, and then this is Omar, fluorine. So what's this word? Brinkhoff. This word, the Brinkhoff, these are all the elements, all the non-metals that are always found diatomic. طب when do I write it? To when I don't write. يعني let's say مثلا I'm having chlorine. If the chlorine is alone in the reaction. يعني let's say مثلا magnesium plus chlorine. Metals, we never write diatomic. Here metals are always alone. Like this, Ghayud, it's only Mg. We don't write 2. It's alone. Because there is no bond between metal and metal. Like when I write chlorine, oh, the chlorine non-metal. So I'm going to go and check ya Munira. Oh, it's a non-metal. Well, it's from the word Brinkhoff. This means I need to write here too. Automatic. You need to remember this. And then, oh, طب هو magnesium with chloride. It's going to give you a magnesium chloride. Magnesium chloride like this. Okay? برضو something else that I need you to know. If I'm having something like this, it is diatomic. You say chlorine, bromine, iodine, fluorine. Like when I write chlorine in a compound like this, you say magnesium chloride. You don't say magnesium chlorine لأنه it's a part of a compound. So we don't say chlorine بقى. We say chlorine أو bromine أو iodine if it is alone, like this one. You got my point? Yes يا جوجو. صاحبي الله ينتقم منه بيكتب MG2. This is wrong. Yes.
بس معلش هو ينفع بس هو اشمعنى في الكلورين اللي هي في اللي هو
I didn't get your question. Why in the chlorine I wrote Cl2 يعني? This is your question?
انا كنت بقول الكويستشن بتاعي بس النت حصل له حاجه. انا كنت بقول هو اشمعنى احنا هنا في الكلورين كتبنا ال2 مع ان في الاكسجين تحت هو دايتوميك وما كتبناش ال2.
عملنا simplify.
Why يا جوجو فعلا؟ عشان we said إن when we wrote the formula here the oxygen is in a formula. I told you if it is alone you write diatomic. You write 2. But here it is with the formula. مش we said this is 2 this is 2 so they simplify each other. That's why it will be written MgO. That's why I started the class by the formulas. يعني we don't write it diatomic if it's inside the compound. لكن if it is alone you need to write إنه it's diatomic. You got the point?
الام جي هنا عشان هو طب
لا
ما احنا
MG
هنا
ده
يعني
metal. MG ده metal ده بره الموضوع. MG any metal no metal diatomic.
لا
This
انا
is
قصدي في
for
الام
non-metal.
جي كلورين اللي هو اللي حضرتك عملتيها اللي هي دي.
روحي it's fine. This is just by chance. You got my point? طب ما aluminium chloride it's going to be يعني aluminium if I write تعالي يا جوجو عشان انت ايه بصي if I'm going to write
ما حضرتش كلاس من الاول فعشان
no
كده
يا روحي it's that's why لا you need to check بقى the class from the beginning when if I want to write aluminium chloride my aluminium chloride is going to be AlCl3 it's not 2. You got the
تمام
point? Yes why
عشان
لأنه aluminium is
كريس
in group
كروس
3 sorry
عشان حصل كريس كروس.
exactly you got the point طيب
يعني احنا في الكريس كروس بتحصل في الايونيك كومباوند بس ولا الكوفيلنت برضه؟
yes في الايونيك.
طب والكوفيلنت ايه اللي بيحصل؟
لا covalent يعني covalent like methane ammonia it's not we don't use الفورمولاز mainly الفورمولاز للcovalent للionic sorry.
تمام ميرسي.
Duria Miss can you explain how to balance equation or you explained it in example of magnesium? No يا ملوكة I'm doing it already but since we are doing I'm writing the equation I said I'm going to tell you برضه على state symbols. You got my point? What about the base and the alkali when it dissolve in water? What should I write? Anything يا علي dissolve in water you need to write aqueous. Okay? Someone برضه asked I think. Oh, I think I wrote for I replied for everything. طيب, let's continue بقى with the balance. لأنه balance is really important. يلا. As I said, the balance is only for A. For the normal equations. طبعا these are word equations which are so easy. بس احنا we're going to do بقى the balance for like this مثلا. Nitrogen or hydrogen will give you ammonia. Let's do this balance. Here I'm having بصوا بقى nitrogen. طب why should I write nitrogen like this? لأنه nitrogen is from the word.
Diatomic.
Exactly. Bren. Off. Take care. There is also a statin which is AT اللي هي في group 7. It's also diatomic بس it's not common in the equation. That's why I didn't write it. وفي someone asked me miss طب ما هو all these I don't remember the name. Someone now wrote in the chat انه الهالوجينز اللي هم group 7 all group 7 are diatomic. That's true. ما هو all this group 7 يعني الفلورين والكلورين.
بس أنا عندي سؤال يا مس.
طب can you give me a minute بس please? The fluorine, the
طبعا.
chlorine, the iodine, all these are A. والأستاتين, all these are halogens, all these are group 7. ف all of them they are diatomic. بس الأكسجين is not in group 7. It's diatomic. الهيدروجين not in group 7 and it's diatomic. You got my point? ف not only halogens are diatomic. لا we have كمان oxygen وhydrogen ونيتروجين also. Nitrogen is not in group 7. Yes يا محمد tell me. احنا if we are going to take the questions we will not finish. بس يعني اوكي.
لا ده سؤال بسيط جدا.
لا not you
انت
not
يا
you
مس
not you بس انا I want يعني عشان بس التوبيك ده depending on يعني every part is depending on the other ف that's why I want to take your questions يعني tell me.
انا بسأل بس سؤال بسيط.
لا
مش احنا
sure.
المفروض هنعمل بالانسنج فالمفروض احنا هنكتب كل واحدة لوحدها، بس انت ليه مش كتبت
Oh,
BRINCLHOE
this is,
مع
oh
بعض
my
كلهم او اس؟
God. This is not an equation. This is a word to remember what are the elements that are diatomic. It's not an equation. This is
ازاي
a
يعني يا
word.
مس؟
This is a word that I
جملة غريبة قوي.
Oh my God. يعني I'm trying to help you. Is it my mistake? Oh, بصي يا محمد.
لا لا يا مس.
بصي يا محمد, I want to tell you something. Long time ago, all
اتفضل.
the time when I write any equation that's having diatomic, all the students, يعني let's say 30-40% of the students, they do mistakes about this. تمام? That's why I was thinking how to solve this problem. So that's why I was thinking about this, to write all the diatomic elements in one word, even if it's bad word, even if it's not good word, or it's not an easy word. That's what I mean, not a bad word, yeah. So if you will check,
تمام.
you will double check the word. Is it there? Yes. So put 2. It's not, يبقى don't put 2. This is going to be a little
Okay.
bit easier. You got my point? But that's it والله.
I understand your point, teacher.
طيب الحمد لله. من المحلل السياسي. Miss, I'm laughing. Abbreviation something. طيب الحمد لله and you like it. That's good. يلا. Let's continue. So I have here nitrogen. Nitrogen again is from the word. So I put 2. Plus hydrogen. Hydrogen again from the word. So I will put 2. And then it's going to give you what? It's going to give you ammonia. It's going to give you ammonia. Ammonia. And then I need to balance that. طب let's check كده. How many nitrogen in the reactants? 2. So how many
2.
nitrogen in the products exactly, يا روني?
1
Exactly.
One يا مس.
يبقى I need to put I need to put 2 لأنه impossible
2
إن 2 nitrogen will form 1. Correct. طب how many hydrogens are here? 2.
I
2.
put
So
3
here,
We need
for
to
the
put a 3
H2.
behind the hydrogen mass because so we can balance both of
correct.
the sides.
That's true. If I'm talking about these hydrogens here في الروحة, the number when it is outside, it's going to join the hydrogen. So it's going to be 2 times 3, so it's 6. يبقى I need, if it is 6 hydrogen, يبقى I need to put a number here that is going to make it a full number. So that's why I'm going to put a 3. When you
3.
put here 3 times 2, we don't add, huh? بلاش 5. But miss 5 hydrogen. جبتوها منين 5? Please, احنا we multiply, we don't add. ها بلاش I know الهسس ده please. هي 3 hydrogen يعني بعمل 3 times 2 so it's 6. يس يا ملوك.
مس انا بيبقى عندي مشكله، مش ببقى عارفه ابدا بانهي element اعمله بالانس الاول. يعني انا لو هنا مثلا بدات يعني بالهيدروجين مش بالنيتروجين هتتلخبط كلها.
Perfect. I love this question. Thank you so much يا ملوك. بجد I like the question. I will tell you something. I was having the same problem when I was in the school. يعني when I was a student, I never know how to do balance. والله I never. All over my life, I thought in the balance دي we need to study it. لأنه all my teachers, even in tuition or class, they just write the equation with the balance كده. I thought إنه we need to study it. I don't know إن احنا we can get it. بصي يا ملوك, do it in order. يعني if here it's nitrogen, do it in order. Same like the order he wrote for you. وفي equations, if you took, I don't know, did you take organic?
يس.
طيب في
Yes.
equation specifically, في equations of organic, usually start by the carbon, then the hydrogen, then the oxygen. Don't replace them. Okay? يعني usually start carbon, then hydrogen, then oxygen. If you started balancing carbon, then hydrogen, then oxygen, it's going to be done with you. لأنه especially الأورجانيك بالذات بقى, بصي ال balance of the alcohols. Today يا نوري we were doing it in class. Alcohols في البالانس. You need to do, it's easy, but I mean يعني you need to think. Carbon, you start by the carbon, then the hydrogen, then the oxygen. لكن for here move in order عادي normal. You got my point? يعني هو I started with the nitrogen, then the hydrogen, then the oxygen. Sorry, then the hydrogen. طيب. Okay يا روح. طيب let's do another one برضو so you can imagine. If I'm going to write مثلا to do let's do مثلا something like this equation. It's an easy one. يعني مثلا let's say again بصوا hydrogen, you see it's diatomic again plus oxygen, it's going to give you what? So if this is 2, this is 2. طب if this is 2 oxygen, impossible and this is 2 وhere 1. يبقى for sure it was 2. I will write here 2. You cannot write down بقى. Okay? Then here 2 hydrogens, so total 2 times 2 it's 4. يبقى I need to put here 2. طيب with 2 oxygen it's here 2. So it's easy. يبقى as you see here I'm moving in order hydrogen then oxygen then ايه؟ تعالى نكتبها peroxide. hydrogen peroxide is H2O2 يا باسم. مش
احيانا
H2O.
بلخبط، احيانا مثلا مع ضغط او حاجه بكتبها H2O2 اساسا.
لا خلي بالك care H2O2 ده it's a totally different compound. It's not water.
والغريب ان هو اصلا من ووتر واكسجين.
Yes, that's true. Let's do this one. K plus water is going to give you KOH plus hydrogen. So how should we do this? برضو بصي يا ملوك I'm going to do it in order. Okay? أهو. I'm going to do it in the same order. How many potassium here? 1. طب how many potassium here? 1. So no problem. طب how many hydrogen here? If you check here, I have 2 hydrogens. Oh, but I have a problem. Why? لأنه here I have 2 hydrogens and I have 1 more. يعني
And
I have
1 we
3.
have 3.
Exactly. يعني here is less. That's why I will add 2. طب if you add 2 times the H2 يعني total ايه؟ Total 4 hydrogens. Exactly. طب
4
here
hydrogen.
2 طب here 2 يبقى I need more 2. But I cannot put it 2 down. As we said, the balance is always outside. Am I right? But that's why.
So I'm gonna write 2K also.
Exactly. You know, since this is 2K, يبقى this is again 2K. Is that clear?
بس معلش ينفع تعيدي الإيكويشن دي؟
أيوة. I know. بصوا هي البالانسنج in general يعني it cannot be done in one class. يعني هي البالانسنج دي in all the during the revision إن شاء الله till we are going to finish. يعني for anyone who will continue the classes, every equation that we will write, I will do the balance again. For by time you will get used to it. طيب, let's do it. Here, how many potassium? ماشي. Here, how many potassium? هنا يا جوجو, هنا how many potassium? This is 1. Here, how many potassium? Again, it's 1, so no problem. طب here, how many hydrogen? This is 2 hydrogens.
2.
Yes, but here I have 1 I have again here 2. يعني total hydrogen for this side 1 و 2 يعني I'm having 3. So what should I do?
تمام.
Exactly. So that's why I need to put here 2. عشان ال 2 مع الهيدروجين it's going to be a 2 hydrogen.
2 hydrogen.
Exactly. So that's why it's going to be 4
Hydrogen.
hydrogens.
So
Exactly.
it's going to be 4.
So you're going to go at the back and you put 2. Am I right?
Yes.
طيب بس here the potassium
It's 2.
ايه بقى يا ملوكة 2 يبقى I need to go to put 2.
Okay.
طيب
Thank you.
you're most welcome. طب let's do another one more one. Cl2 with KBr. Again, you see here, we wrote it diatomic because it's alone. Then it's going to give you KCl plus Br2. So what should I do? You see here, أهو. The word Benkoff, it's bromine وhere chlorine. That's why I wrote 2. طب here, بصي يا ملوك, أهو برضو again, I'm moving in order. Yes يا بس.
ده انا عايز اجاوب بس.
طيب يلا do it with me.
انا خليتها CL2
Correct.
بقت CL فهنكتب
لا wait, بس
اتنين.
wait. احنا will do
ليه؟
it in order. يعني here I have 2 CLs. Am I right? طب here how many?
Yes. 1.
So
Write 2 before KCL.
thank you. Good job. طب بس كده when I put the 2 كده they become how many K?
2.
2 يبقى I need to put here 2. وكده كده they will become 2 BR وhere 2 BR it's fine. Okay? Thank you يا باسم. برافو. Yes يا روني. ميس دي يا روني.
يا مس انا كنت كمان عايزه اجاوب.
I know والله يا روحي. You're the best. I was searching for you last class كده. They were asking about the link. I told them one of my assistants روني دي خلاص all the time now sending the links.
ما كان عندي حصه فما عرفتش ادخل المره اللي فاتت.
شفتي يا روني كده I missed you في الكلاس بتاع كان ايه Monday in Monday class.
ميس يو تو مس.
حبيبي. طيب let me give you let's take this one number 5. طبعا احنا we can sit 3-4 hours to do balance، بس عشان I want to do برضو energetics exo endo، that's why يعني I will do this. I will do 2 more and then I will revise by energetics. طيب here how many carbon? Who want to say? يلا يا جوجو tell me. روني new assistant. لا يا حبيبي انت وهي يا باسم.
So
She send you all the groups اهو واليوتيوب و everything. Thank you يا روني. قولي يا جوجو how many carbons are here?
1.
1. وهير
It's
شايفة
1 also.
1 so no problem. طب here how many hydrogens?
4.
4. بصي يا ملوكة I'm moving in order اهو. هنا 4 hydrogens بس هنا I have only 1 يبقى I need to put ايه 4. am I right? am I right يا جوجو؟
4. Yes.
اوكي يبقى كده I have how many chlorine here? I have 4Cl وهنا برضو I have 4Cl يعني total البرودكتس I have 8 chlorines. am I right? يبقى what should you put here? If you want 8 chlorines يبقى you should put 4. am I right?
4 times 2 is going to be 8. So it's
Correct.
going to be 8 chlorine.
Correct. No, take care. هو هنا I have هنا I have Cl4 وهنا برضو 4 يبقى this means and on this side they are 8 يبقى
Yeah, and this
you need to put 4 only عشان 4 times 2 is going to be 8. مش هنا في 2؟
أيوة.
Yes, correct. ماشي. اوكي يا باسم. طيب next we want to do this one بقى. اللي هي the first one, this is the last one. And then we are going to do energetics بقى. Yes يا محمد, you want to say? يلا do it. محمد, why you raised your hand and then you slept ولا ايه؟
Miss, which one did I solve?
محمد ما شاء الله ما شاء الله your voice is
No, I
better.
was just asking which one did I solve.
No, the first one. Your voice ما شاء الله I feel إنه it's clear يعني more even than my voice. يعني I feel when you talk and you
Because
are
I'm
the teacher.
using.
I feel you are the teacher not me والله.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. How many carbons do I have here?
Carbons and reactants, there is only one, and then in the
Correct.
products there is only 1, 2.
Correct. How many hydrogens are here?
Hydrogens are 4, and the hydrogens in the product is 2. So we need to put a 2 before the here.
Yes, to be 4. Correct.
So it's gonna be 2. Yeah. So there is gonna be like this in the products. There's gonna be 4 oxygen, and in the input there's gonna be 2. So we're gonna put 2 behind the oxygen and
Good job.
the reactant side.
Excellent. Good job. You see, Amaluka, again, I'm moving in order. I did carbon,
Thanks so
then
much.
I did, you're most welcome. I did carbon, then I did hydrogen, then I'm doing the oxygen, as I told you, in order. So how many oxygen are here? Here I have 2 oxygen. Here again, the 2 oxygen, يعني total for this side يا فروحة 4. يبقى I need to put here what? I need to put here 2 عشان 2 times 2 is going to be 4. طيب, let's continue. I think now the balance somehow is easier. احنا كده في equations we still have ionic equation. Take care, ionic equation is the trickiest. But I don't want to do it now لأنه if I do ionic equation it's going to take long. Already next Wednesday for the ones who are going to continue or the ones who need electrolysis I'm going to do it. فإن شاء الله we will do it at this day. Miss, I tried to do this balancing by order but it couldn't do it at the end. It's fine يا ملوكة, no problem. You can send it to me on WhatsApp or I will do it with you. أكيد for sure you know my number, صح? I will write it for you برضو. I don't know you are in the groups or not, but this is the Kuwaiti number. You are in the groups أكيد صح? This is the Kuwaiti one. This is the Egyptian one. 002011.
أنا بعت الكويشن أصلا في الشات.
I'm trying to download it from the chat. It's not downloaded. 0112888494. We try to use يعني I'm living in Kuwait بس this one يعني this one I check more بصراحة honestly. فيعني try to send me always on this number يعني because I have both بس this one يعني I chat more بصراحة honestly all the time يعني يلا let's do it بقى ready for our second journey يا إيدو يلا يا أحمد let's start we will do now this is a very easy topic طبعا energy changes ده كده يعني we will do it it's easy يعني we will just كده revise it I know all of you know it that's why I choose an easy topic with the formula لأنه I know formulas you need you to focus يلا بينا let's start next week بقى إن شاء الله يعني next Monday I'm going to do moles Wednesday electrolysis redox فإيه يعني يلا let's do it طيب for energetics what's the difference بقى between exothermic و endothermic exothermic it means it is the reaction that يبقى this means it is the reaction that releases heat exothermic it is the reaction that releases heat طب what about endothermic
takes in heat.
exactly takes in heat from the surrounding that's true so what was the exothermic I'm going to put for you the links of the previous classes of Fridays I'm going to put it now okay طيب what is the difference بقى between you're most welcome وبليز بقى till we finish يعني try as much as you can to keep the questions at the end so we'll be done what's the difference between exothermic و endothermic we said before إنه exothermic it is no unfortunately I need to no problem exothermic it
أنا
means
بعته على الشات.
لا I found إنه I need to لسه to open the قول ايه يا حمزة؟ يعني
أنا بعت اللينكس على الشات يا مس.
لا مش هم عايزين اللينك على هي عايزة ابعت لها اللينك بتاعت اليوتيوب بس لازم اعمل سكان
أيوة بتوع يوتيوب.
I know لا انا كنت هبعت لها الاوتوماتيك بس I cannot get it now it's not opening now
اللي هي الشانل انا عامله سبسكرايب على الشانل اللي هي chemistry
خلاص
lovers
it will show you وsend me برضو on the group I will show you I will send you the links of all the YouTube links of the classes that you missed okay
اوكي حاضر
يلا بينا طيب let's continue بقى our exo-endo let's go so first of all if I'm going to talk about exo and endothermic exothermic it is the reaction that do what that releases heat to the surrounding طب what about endothermic it is the reaction that takes in heat from the surrounding طيب like which examples as an يعني like what if I'm having burning when you burn a substance it's going to release heat طب like photosynthesis يبقى طبعا burning is exothermic طب photosynthesis it is the reaction that is going to take in heat يعني the plant to make photosynthesis it takes the light from the sun and then it will do photosynthesis so this means it's an endothermic take care and if you some types of reaction like if you put acid with a metal it's an exothermic يعني it releases heat neutralization يعني any acid with alkali it needs to be again exothermic reaction يعني في some types of reaction during بقى when we are going to revise كده in the syllabus you need to know إنها exothermic يعني it increases the temperature okay طيب let's see كده burning this is photosynthesis يعني let's say as I told you if you put any acid with a metal it's going to give you salt or hydrogen so this acid with the metal, it's going to give you salt or hydrogen. The temperature here was 25. Once you put the magnesium with the HCl, hope the temperature is going to increase. يبقى this means automatic يا حمزة إن this is exothermic. طيب, what about if this was endothermic reaction? يعني it was 25 degrees and then it will change once we're done with the endothermic reaction it will change to 5 يبقى what's happening it's endothermic يعني the temperature is going to decrease يبقى when the temperature is like barium hydroxide with ammonium chloride we no need to study this example You just need to know إنه when it is an endothermic the temperature decrease. When it is exothermic the temperature increase. طيب for any reaction to happen two substances أو two So, as we said, we are going to talk about energetics now, or exothermic or endothermic. If I'm having methane, I want to burn, let's say, methane with oxygen. What will happen? Once you are having your reactants are already bonded to each other. So what should I do? I need to get energy to break these atoms. So all the atoms are going to be free now. And if you check now, you will break all the bonds, so all the atoms now are free to move. طيب, which step do you need energy? You gain energy, and which step you will release energy? For any bond breaking, يعني the first part of the reaction, you need to take in energy. So all the atoms, to break all these يا فروحة, and all the atoms are going to be free. طيب, in the other step بقى يا كريم, you're going to find إنه when the products are going to be formed, energy is released. But for any reaction to happen, you need two steps. The first step, it is breaking the old bonds. يعني these are old bonds. You need to break all the old bonds. With second step, and you need to form new bonds. When you form new bonds, energy is released. طيب. If I'm going, يعني if for this reaction, I will take more energy than what I release يا نوري, يبقى this is A. If I take in more, يبقى this is Endo. If you release more, يبقى this is exo. يبقى once again, if I'm going to take in heat, يعني in the first step, when you take a lot of heat, but you release only few amount, يبقى it's endo. لأنه I took more than what I released. طب if I release more, يبقى this is exothermic. But this is very important. All the time you're going to find this question in the exam. Right. Let's continue. How the question is going to be in the exam بقى. أهو. يبقى for any reaction to happen, you need to break the old bonds and you form new bonds. طيب, if these are your reactants, you need to have, if these are my reactants, I always say to the students, if me and any of my friends, we were connected together, so I need to break this force. So how should I break it? You need إيه يا فروح? You need activation energy. This activation energy يا حمزة, it's going to break the bonds between them. So once I'm going to break with the activation energy, the atoms now يا أحمد, they are free. For once they are free, بس خلاص done. I need to do إيه بقى? خلاص they are free. They are going to form new bonds. When you form new bonds, another energy is going to be released. يبقى to break the bond, you need energy. To form new bonds, energy is released. طيب, as I said, if I take more energy, يعني let's say I'm going to take 1000 joule to break the bonds. But at the end, I will release only 500. And if I take 1000, I will release only 500. يبقى this means it's an endothermic. Why? لأنه I took a lot of energy to break the bonds, but I will release only a small amount. Right. Let's take this by drawings and by problems. If I'm having something like this, this is the reactants, okay? These are the products. What should I know for this drawing? In the exam, this is a very common question for Cambridge and Edexcel. All the time you will find this question. So what should I do? You need to think, when do I put, how the question will be. He will ask you, يا جوجو, what is, draw energy profile diagram. So if he asks you, draw energy profile, you need to do it like this. This is energy, remembered by the word profile. It contains a curve, kid. Energy profile, like this. Type. When do I put reactants here? When do I put the reactants here, or when do I put the reactants here? If the reaction is exothermic, it is exo. يعني this means I will release a lot of energy. طب since you will release a lot of energy يبقى for sure the reactants are going to be high because you will release a lot of energy. يبقى you need to put the reactants up. Why? If it's going to release energy يبقى أكيد from the beginning it was having a lot of energy. That for sure. So that's why I'm going to put the reactants up. طب if it is going to be endothermic يبقى I need to put this what? I need to put the reactants down. Why I should put it down? لأنه it's endothermic يعني I will take a lot of energy. يبقى أكيد for sure this is the reactants. Okay? Oh my God. I need to charge. مش عارفة what's wrong today. 1 minute بس I'll get the charger. If these are my reactants, when do I say endothermic? When do I say exothermic? If the number, if the reactants is up, this means for sure it's going, يعني I was having a lot of energy. But since I was having a lot of energy, for sure it's an exothermic لأنه already the reactants are up. طيب, what about endothermic? لا, endothermic بقى أكيد for sure يا مارو it's down. Endothermic أكيد for sure it's down. That's why I'm going to take a lot of energy because I was having low amount of energy. Okay? طيب, next. Should I write, يعني for any given reaction, should I write what are the, يعني should I write the elements here? Yes. I should write مثلا methane plus 2 oxygen is going to give you here carbon dioxide and 2 water. As an example. يعني if he writes for you the reactants for any equation, the reactants and the product, you should write here the reactants or here the product. This is 1 mark. يبقى 1 mark to write, to draw which one is up, which one is down. The second mark, you need to write what are the reactants, what are the products. And then they will ask you, show on the drawing, where is the activation energy? So what should you do? You're going to take from here till up. This is the activation energy. And from here till up. What do we call this? This is the activation energy. Okay, this is the activation energy. Okay? Again, يا علي. Again, I'm saying in activation energy, it's going to be from the reactants till the top. يعني from the beginning. I'm going to put the reactants down, I'm going to put the products. Type the reactants, the line from the reactants till the top up, this is called activation energy. What do I mean by activation energy? It means the energy that the reactants need to form products. So that's why I'm going to start from the reactants till up, till the top. This is called activation energy. Okay? Type the last step that we need to know here, it is the delta H. The delta H. The delta H, it is the distance between E. It is the distance. If this is the reactants, this is the products. Oh. The distance between the reactants and the products. This is the reactants, so this is the product. And the number is going down. 50, 40, 30, 20. So since the number is going down, but this is the delta H. From the reactants till down, till the product. This is called delta H. وأكيد it's a negative number. يبقى delta H, it's the difference between إيه يا علي? Between the reactants and the products. What's the difference between the reactant and the products? We call it delta H. طب here again, this is the reactants, so this is the product. So the difference between the reactants and the product, we call it delta H again. Between here and here. So this is again delta H. Okay? Type. Next, what should I do? Sometimes in the drawing, he will ask you, draw energy level diagram. If he asks you, draw energy level, no need to draw the curve. No need. You can draw it like this. Like this. Yani, let's say, I will show you now. You can draw it like this way. As an example, kid. These are the reactants. Okay, well, these are the products. Okay, so I didn't draw the activation energy. I didn't draw the curve. طب when do I draw it like this? I draw it like this when he will tell you the normal reaction اللي هي يعني energy level diagram. He's not going to show you he's not going to ask you to draw the activation energy, just energy level diagram. Energy level, it's a level. So you put the reactants here or products here, or reactants here or products here. طب how do I know? If it is indo, reactants is down. لأن you will take a lot of energy. If it is exo, يبقى products هي اللي is down و reactants is up. Okay? طيب next I'm going to go quickly لأن I know you're exhausted. احنا خلاص we're almost داخلين على 2 hours. I felt إن احنا we did it يعني time really passes quickly. طيب for this reaction I know all of you know how to do this, but I'm going to say it quickly. If I want, طبعا this must be in the exam. If it's going to ask you for if this equation is exothermic ولا it is endothermic. So what should you do? For exothermic or for endothermic, you need to do what? Here مثلا this is carbon. Check it out with me. This is carbon. Every one of these is a hydrogen يا كريم. طب I'm telling you إنه every carbon hydrogen is 435. يبقى how many carbon hydrogen bond? How many? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Exactly. So, excuse me? Exactly, times 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. يبقى I'm going to write 435. طيب, well, how many O double bond O? This is O. This is again O.
2 times 2.
So how many O double bond O? 497. So it's going to be 497 AMRO times 2. يبقى this is called bond breaking. If you check now, this is bond breaking. أهو. Check. أهو total of bond breaking 4 times 435 plus 2 times 497. يبقى this is the bond breaking. Well, I will do the same for the bond formation. Take care. The first part دي في reactants. والsecond part, this is the products. طيب products بقى أهو C و O و O. So C double bond O يعني every C double bond O is at 103. How many C double bond O? Here and here. يعني 103 times exactly. Here I have how many OH? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many OH?
4 times 464.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, at the end is going to be A. At the end is going to be 3,462. But what's the last step? Exactly. The last step, you should subtract the first part, not the big minus the small. لا. The bond breaking minus the bond formation. And the first part minus the second part. So you will get, if the number is a negative number, so it's exothermic. If it is a positive number, so it's endothermic. Okay? Well, in the exam, sometimes he will tell you, explain why it's exothermic. You need to say because the why it's exo. I'm going to say because the energy released by the products was more than the energy absorbed for reactants. So that's why it was an exothermic reaction. Or sometimes you can say because the delta H is negative, برضو it's correct. Okay? If I think this is easy. Okay? طيب, the last part for the topic, it was talking about fuel. I know the part بتاعت the fuel is so easy. We're going to do it when we do past papers. But just one more point I want to say, and I know إن احنا we took too long today. There is one point that I want to say اللي هي بتاعت hydrogen fuel. All the time you're going to find this question. The other parts بتاعت the fuel we'll do it when we do the past papers. So it's very easy. لكن I want you to know this question اللي هو when he will ask you hydrogen as a fuel. Is there any polluting gas if you use hydrogen as a fuel?
No.
Oh,
No. Why? لأنه it's going to only to form a water vapor. Okay,
water.
فنروح when you burn, yes, when you burn hydrogen in the fuel cell, it's going to give you only water vapor. فالhydrogen is one of the very good fuels لأنه it's found in large amounts. It produces very large, يعني it's already found in large quantities. It's available يعني. It produces large amount of heat. يعني 3 times that of carbon. It produces a lot of heat. At the same time, no polluting gases. So it's really good, the hydrogen. But the problem with the hydrogen إن it's a gas, it's not easy to transport it. لا, we need to change it into liquid first, it's not easy. Number two, it's flammable. يعني these are the negative points for the hydrogen, but it's a very good source of energy, الهيدروجين, especially for rockets. فالهيدروجين is a very good source of energy. طبعا في اليورانيوم برضو it's ultraviolet light radioactive. Yes, بس البروبلم في اليورانيوم انه الرد اللي بنحط فيها اليورانيوم يعني the rod that we put the uranium is we cannot dispose it. This is the problem with the uranium.
What do you
يعني
mean?
even
What
if
do you
you
mean that
dispose
you
it, it's going to be radioactive. This is the problem. So that's why it's not good. مع ان اليورانيوم برضو no need for oxygen. You don't burn it. It doesn't have polluting gases. But the problem is انه التيوب او الكونتينر of the uranium is going to be still radioactive all the time. فطبعا since it's radioactive, this is not good يعني.
How?
Okay? The rod يعني radioactive يعني it means انه if he put it after they want to dispose it, if they put it in water, they put it in sand, they put it in lakes, in oceans, in desert, it's going to affect the area.
Yes, you
لأنه
mean
it's
because of the
radioactive يعني it
half-life of
produces
the
radiation.
uranium is very long, so it cannot get disposed very quickly.
Correct. Not easily. Yes, that's true. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. I hope you like the class. I hope you get use of the class. Okay.